Just how nostalgic does it make you feel being back here and seeing the student section being as packed as it is?
It's bringing back old memories, right? I'm always excited to be back in Miami, and it's been that way since I left here, and it's always a great feeling to come back and see the young guys playing and just seeing the environment being in a great place right now.
How good is it and how important is it for college basketball to have games like tonight when you have two teams that are close and they haven't played for a while but they're playing now?
It's everything, right? That's what it's about. And when you have a rivalry like Cincinnati and Miami, it's superb. It speaks for itself, right? It's like a Auburn and Alabama game. It's the same thing, and I think it's important to have that type of chemistry continuously going between two great universities that's so close to each other. I think that's what it's about.
I'm sure you have a lot of great memories of your time here at Miami. You remember some of those UC games back when you were playing?
Two, playing them at home down in Cincinnati. I think we lost by like maybe 4 or 5. It was down to the wire. I remember falling and busting my eye or something. I had to go back and get some stitches or something, and all I could tell was, Doc, hurry up, Doc, hurry up! I got to go. I got to go back out. I didn't want to waste a second. You finished, Doc? I got to go. It's those type of games when it's like rivalries like this. You don't want to miss a second. That's what it's really about.
Just how much have you watched this Miami team this year? I'm just curious.
I watched them play in Atlanta. I went to the game against Georgia Tech, and one of the things I noticed is guys played hard. You could tell they liked playing with each other, and they fought for 40 minutes, and that was huge. And looking at that kind of reminded me of the time when we used to play here. That was our identity. We played hard, and we were going to play for 40. That's what the guys looked like. So it was good to see a season opener like that and guys get a big win. That's a big win, so once this year.
As a guy who played college basketball, when you look around today and there's a lot of different things about it, how different is it, the game as a whole?
As an old school guy, we always be like, oh, it was so much different, so much more aggressive. I think the guys are not as strong as we were, but they're a lot more athletic, right? You got bigs who are doing a lot more. Is it a big difference? No. I think the game is the same. Maybe they're moving a little faster, but I don't think it's a big difference. And we're shooting more three-pointers as a whole. Before it was like just, point guard, 2 guards, 3 guards. You might here and there get a 4-man that does it, but not as much. Now, you have to be able to shoot the ball, no matter if you're the 5-man or the point guard, right? That's the only big difference.
When you see teams with the transfer portal being so active, you see teams with totally remade rosters from year, what goes through your mind?
In my mind, nothing. I'm not coaching anymore. But when you're in that business, I mean, it's a lot of guys who feel like they're better than where they're at. Some guys maybe need to make that move, but it seemed like there's no loyalty between the university and the players. Everybody's if they have a season they don't play much, they're ready to transfer. And going to the new team don't guarantee that you're going to play more. It's like I'd rather go with the girl I know than the girl that I'm doing the blind date with. You never know what's on the other end, right? And that's sort of the same thing with the guys transfer. They just don't understand it. You still got to work. You still have to put the time in, right? You still have to get better. Nobody's giving you anything unless you're just that good. In my case, I wasn't that good, so I had to work.
Nobody's worn 42 since you last laced it up in '97. What's it like to see a sea of 42s out there?
Well, I'm glad it's not a player. That means they're wearing my jersey still. No, it's a pleasure. I'm always grateful to come back to home and being represented. And, you know, I'm a Miami guy, so it's always a blessing. I feel good to have it.
When you stepped on the floor for the first time at Millett Hall, you were the single most intimidating person in the Mid-American Conference. With the dreads, the attitude, the look. When you watch college basketball now, you were the first. What's it like to see all of that out there and say, yeah, I already been there, done that?
It's a little weird because I think I'm thinking about when I first did it. It really wasn't accepted.
Yeah.
And a lot of people looked at me strange or asked me to cut my hair, and that's college or pro. And it was just different. And, you know, guys get to do it now, and it's like nobody know who started this and why it's so much freedom, right? But somebody got to set the tone and I guess go forward, right? They have to be the example or the trailblazer of it. And before you know it, we all do it. Nobody knows why we do it. They just know they're able to do it.
When you look back over the time that you came to Miami to where you are today and what you've been through, what's Miami mean to you?
It's where I became a man at. I met some of my best brothers, right, who helped groom me into the man I am today. Without it, we never know. And Miami's made a big difference in my life, you know, to be able to go from here to Europe and play in Spain where everybody majority speaks Spanish, and I had to adapt, but I had to adapt when I came here. And I was able to, and I was able to do the same thing in Spain just as well. So, I mean, Miami helped shape me as a man.
You were talking how much 42 means to you. Was there any story behind that number, or did you just have that number?
James Worthy.
Okay.
Young, right? James Worthy was the man. And I liked it in high school, and I just kept it going, you know. I didn't have 42 in Europe. I had to switch jerseys, but for the most important times of my careers, I had it, and it meant a lot to me.
And secondly, when did the hair go, and at what age, and why?
You know what? I was maybe, I was in my 30s. I was in Spain at the time. I don't know, maybe I was playing for Barcelona, or it was a process. I think I went either dreads first or gold teeth after, or gold teeth first or dreads, right? Can't recall when. I still have them. And it was just like, I'll be retiring soon, so it's probably time to, you know, I think when I first started this whole thing out, it was all negative, right? The way you were looked at. I was judged by the cover of my book, but not what was in the book. So I kind of still felt that way. So I felt like, you know, I needed to cut them to make the transition. And I was in my 30s. I was getting ready to retire. And I just thought it was time. It was time.
You've been a part of a lot of amazing games. What are some of the most memorable games that you've been a part of in Millett Hall?
I don't have a problem to tell you. I know it clear as day. It was Christmas break, and we were playing Ohio University. I was a sophomore, and it was Gary Trent and the 7-footer. I think we were maybe 10 seconds in the game. I come down the lane, and I had this dunk, and I ran by the gym, by their bench, and I was like, you better get him, beep, 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 beep. I'm going to kill him. And I ran down to the other end, and they all looked at me like, he's crazy. But, you know, playing against Ohio that year was one of my best games, I would say. And you know, we were able to beat them at a time that they were winning a lot of games, and they were ranked. That's one of my best memories, you know, among others. But, yes, that one for sure.